Hello everyone and welcome to ANG Market Digest. I'm your host, of course, Nikita Verindub, and in today's episode we'll be diving into the latest and most significant trends and happenings in the mortgage industry over the past 2 weeks. Of course, with Alex Soslov, the head of capital markets. We'll also be joined later by Alina Saryanka, disclosure team lead, who'll be talking about a new tool to help you calculate the qualifying income to self-employed borrowers. Guys, welcome to the studio. Alina, that's your first time here. What do you think?
Great, happy to be here. Thank you for inviting.
Of course. Alex, thanks for coming again. It's always a pleasure having you here. Alex is a old G here, so he knows everything.
I'm glad to have Alina here as well, Nick. I think it's gonna be fun. Alina has a lot of experience on the operational side. We work together a lot, and I think she has a lot to share with us. You should torture her on the operational part, how this works, how that works in the mortgage company. So you got the opportunity today.
Oh wow, I'm actually excited to start. I have a bunch of questions for you that I'm pretty sure you're gonna answer super easily. Alex, I think we should start with the questions as usually with you. You ready?
Yep, as always.
So what actually happened with the economy last week?
Absolutely. So last week we had a handful number of data for the economy. The week started with is employment numbers, basically how many jobs were posted in the month of March. And that number went down, which sparked rally on the market. Basically rates went down, and there was a handful number of borrowers who were able to lock at a good rates. However, at the end of the week, we saw unemployment numbers which were lower than expectation, 3.5% versus 3.6% expectation, meaning that unemployment is still dropping. That's not what Fed is looking for. Fed is looking for unemployment rates to go up to prove that their methodology work, and that's not what we see at this moment. That's why there was a sell-off on the market, rates went up, and if we look at the week in a whole, I would say we're pretty much flat as far as the level of the rates for the past week.
Alex, do you think mortgage lenders were affected by the bank failures? And if they were affected, how borrowers actually should choose the right lender from themselves?
It's a very good question on how the lenders and mortgage originators, non-banks, were affected by the banks that failed during that period. I think pretty much everyone in the country, as we discussed last time, were concerned about the safety of their bank accounts. If the bank fails, right, there is FDIC insurance for only $250,000, and then all your other savings and accounts are gone. So banks and mortgage companies. For mortgage companies, basically, if the bank that provides any financing services to mortgage company has liquidity issues, that's where the company gets affected. Credit Suisse was one of the largest warehouse providers for many non-banks, many lenders in the space, and I believe that have affected some companies, but more operationally, since Credit Suisse was acquired by UBS, and it's a matter of where their funds would migrate, so on and so forth. And plus, Credit Suisse had also a spin-off a couple months ago of their structured finance division, which mostly affects mortgage companies, again, to Atlas, which is under Apollo umbrella, and that company is developing pretty well. So I think, for the mortgage company to be affected, I wouldn't say mortgage companies were affected too much. And then for borrowers right now to choose the right lender, I think the most important is reputability, right? And that mortgage company can close your loan on time, that it won't go out of business, and basically you get your mortgage but not waste time and money on the process, right? In that case, I think you look at the track record, number one, and what's most important for brokers to pick the company is when mortgage lender has its own mortgage products, because there are a lot of lenders who just sell loans to aggregators, and they're super affected by their guidelines, by their policies, and any changes that may be out there. And we saw several cases in the past year when the companies went out of business, right? what's unique at A&D is that all the non-KM programs that we offer to our borrowers, our broker partners, is our internally developed programs, our portfolio products, and we're not dependent on other players in the market who can basically change the programs. If we have something out there, that's what we will offer, and we will not cancel on our locks and our promises to the borrowers.
Plus, we, other lender, provide many free services for our brokers partner, such as AVM, AirDNA reports, concierge service as well for bank statement programs.
That was actually a pretty good point. What do you guys think about the current market for the self-employed, sorry?
Self-employed borrowers, actually self-employed people in the United States, their percentage of self-employed versus employed people was growing in the past 3 years with an average pace of 11% year over year. That means that there is a huge market for that type of borrowers, and that is why we have our non-KM programs tailored for self-employed borrowers, where we can basically, for example, on bank statements, see the actual revenue and the actual financial stream of the borrower versus looking at a tax return, because tax return is technically what tax return is already a processed data from bank statements to an official IRS document, right? Bank statement is your raw data, and that is how we basically, that is what we use for our analysis of the ability to repay of the borrower. And Alina, I think, can tell a little more on the bank statement because it's her, I'd say, bread and butter program.
That'll be great.
Bank statement programs are available for self-employed borrowers only. We offer 4 different documentation options, which is 12 or 24 personal bank statements and 12 and 24 business bank statement program. The borrower's business for qualification needs to be in existence for at least 2 years. Borrower must own at least 25% of the business. The big plus for personal bank statements that there is no limitations or how many bank accounts borrower can use. For business, there is a limit of 2 bank accounts for each business. Yeah, that's pretty much.
That's pretty clear. Like I'm sure that's enough to for the brokers to understand actually what documentation and how they want to proceed with that program. But for sure, we have our amazing guidelines. They're gonna show and provide the brokers all the documentation that they will need. So going back a little bit, you actually mentioned the concierge service. Could you please tell us what is it? How does it work? So we will have an understanding actually. What does it mean?
So we have a concierge team who provides the concierge service, which is we're calculating monthly average income for self-employed borrowers from 12 or 24 months business personal bank statements. So we take in the total deposits per month and excluding non-true income, which is transfers between personal accounts or any dividends from investment or crypto accounts, also tax returns or title and insurance payments. So we see the true income and provide with a monthly amount. We also take in 100% from borrowers' personal accounts, which is 100% ratio, and 50% expense ratio for business accounts, unless borrower provide us with the CPA letter.
Right. So basically what concierge service does is they're calculating income for the brokers. So the brokers, there's no need for them to calculate the income by themselves, right?
Yes, all correct. It's very convenient.
Insanely convenient. Like it saves so much time for the brokers.
Right, yes.
How actually broker can do that? What steps should he take?
So concierge service is free and available for all A&D partners. Broker just need to log into our ADM system, upload 3.4 file along with bank statements also, choose 12 or 24 months bank statement program, And with 12 or 24 hours, we will provide them with the answer and calculate their self-employed borrower's income.
That's insanely convenient again. Wow. And it's pretty easy to do, right? It's like just several buttons
Yes,
to press
it's
and
very
it's done.
user-friendly, and it's in our ADM systems. So
Before, brokers needed to take tax returns, take bank statements, and just work through them themselves. Right now, you just basically throw it to us, they scrub it, and give you the number that you use in your basic DTI calculation.
Guys, how long does it take for AG Mortgage to actually calculate to do the concierge service, let's say it like that?
so it's around turnaround time 12 to 24 hours. We will send email notification that your concierge service is completed, and broker can just log into the system, go to the file, and see the actual monthly income.
In some cases, you can just basically upload it while you go to sleep, then wake up and get the calculation back.
That's how it works.
So yeah, AG Mortgage works 24 hours, 24/7. I'm pretty sure that's pretty clear enough, right, about the concierge service. So I think we could go forward. My favorite question, Alina, could you please tell me, Alex, the viewers, what the disclosure department does?
So we have three dedicated team, as I said, the concierge team, initial disclosure team, who will review initial submission and make sure we have all required documents and completed submission. We also will, at that stage, we will pull AVM report, AirDNA report, and calculate your income if it wasn't done by concierge team also. So we work together. And we also have 3-day CD redisclosure team who works on loan estimate after the file is logged, rate is logged, and preparing 3-day CD before closing.
Never thought that the disclosure department could be that big. You guys do a lot of stuff
Yes.
actually on the files. Wow. Alex, do you have anything to add to that?
No, not at this point. They're just doing that super fast, super easy, and right on point.
So that, like, such a big job, and you guys do it in such a short period of time.
Yes, our redisclosure 3-day CD is done within 12 hours. So it's very fast and convenient. And I would say we are the first impression and face of AD Mortgage because our team is the first team actually who starts working with the brokers after account executive. Yes.
Right. So we basically, account executive introduce the broker to you guys. Wow. All right. Guys, could you please give your opinion on the current state of short-term rentals? Because as I know, ANG Mortgage started accepting the short-term rentals for the DSCR loans, right?
Right. As we discussed, I think a few weeks ago, we've implemented a new program, in addition to our program, I'd say, where we accept short-term rentals based on the either historical rents or automated valuation estimator, which is called AirDNA Rentalizer, which we run for our brokers to help them better understand what the value of the property may be, and we use that value in the DSCR calculation for our investment loans. And Alina can tell in a little more details maybe how they do it, because as you might guess,
I'm pretty
Disclosure
sure that,
does everything.
Yes, so a disclosure team would pull AirDNA report for all DSCR files, and we will advise broker of the value of the short-term rental income, and then broker can decide and see if it's might get the better rate, and he will structure his file better with short-term rental income.
Guys, I feel like that was an amazing conversation. I'm really glad that you were able to make it here. Alina, congratulations with the first, let's call it interview, but it's like more a friendly way to do it. Thanks again for coming. It's always a pleasure. Alex, thanks again. I hope I'm gonna see you next week.
Absolutely. I think that was a very fruitful one. We shared a lot of different things, how we do internally. Alina, thank you so much for participating.
Yes,
And I'm pretty sure, I really hope actually that it was helpful for our brokers, the partners with AG Mortgage.
Right. Thank you, Nikita.
Thank
for
you,
that.
guys. Thank you. And that's a wrap for this episode of ANG Market Digest. We hope you found our coverage on the latest trends and happenings in the mortgage industry informative and insightful. Be sure to stay tuned and subscribe to our channel to stay informed and ahead in the ever-changing mortgage industry. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nikita Verindam, and remember, knowledge is power in the world of mortgages. Until next time, take care and stay informed with ANG Market Digest.